deathmatch. The fate of the free world is in your hands.
Why the fuck didn't it work? There's this guy up top who thinks he's the shit. Get off of that. This game was so good, but
Lethal out.
Oh, I'm not punching back. Oh,
they're all just kind of trying to get us on top. Like 3 of them bombed us. And now she's been turned into soup.
Get the fuck out of this shit. Shut up.
This isn't how we drilled it. Pull it back.
Behind us.
FTC is running down. There's no coming back from that. Haul your asses back home, CIA.
Plans inevitably change. With roadmaps in Jira software, quickly adapt and adjust to changing priorities. Staying in sync has never been easier.
It's time. She's spilling the tea.
This is The Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
Well, over the weekend, In the Heights made $11.4 million. It did not get the expectations they thought it would at the box office. As you know, Lin-Manuel Miranda actually did this movie. He's the one that did Hamilton. And John M. Chu, who directed Crazy Rich Asians, directed this movie. Now, the whole point of this movie was to show that Latin Americans are not a monolith, and a lot of the people who were part of the cast felt like they did a good job as far as representation. But during an interview with The Root, there were some conversations about darker skin Afro-Latino representation, and people do feel like In the Heights fell short of representing that. Now, talking to The Root's Felice Leon, John M. Chu did notice that they missed the mark when she questioned him. She's a black New Yorker of Cuban descent.
What are your thoughts on the lack of black Latinx people represented in your film?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was something we talked about, and I needed to be educated about, of course. In the end, when we were looking at the cast, we tried to get the people who were best for those roles, and that specifically, and we saw a lot of people like Daphne or Dasha. But I hear you on, trying to fill those cast members with darker skin.
I mean, first about the box office, I was very confused about where to watch In the Heights, because for some reason I thought it was on Netflix, then I saw it on HBO Max, then I saw it in theaters, so I was confused on even how to watch it. So I guess it's in theaters and on HBO Max?
Yeah, HBO Max and in theaters. And I think it kicked off the Tribeca Film Festival. And the Puerto Rican Day Parade was actually there. They kind of led the Puerto Rican Day Parade. They did a small one.
They had a Puerto Rican Day Parade?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was only virtual. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it was mostly virtual, but they had a little small thing with In the Heights leading it. It was just a few blocks.
Okay.
All right, now Lin-Manuel Miranda actually wrote on social media, I started writing In the Heights because I didn't feel seen, and over the past 20 years, all I wanted was for us, all of us, to feel seen. I'm seeing the discussion around Afro-Latino representation in our film this weekend, and it is clear that many in our dark-skinned Afro-Latino community don't feel sufficiently represented within it, particularly among the leading roles. I can hear the hurt and frustration over colorism, of feeling still unseen in the feedback. I hear that without sufficient dark-skinned Afro-Latino representation, the work feels extractive of the community we wanted so much to represent with pride and joy. So he did say he is truly sorry. He's learning from the feedback.
But why does that feedback have to come from social media? Like, these productions go through a lot before they hit the big screen. Like, you mean to tell me that nobody saw this beforehand? Like, all these folks that work on these productions, I mean, just in casting alone, someone had to see this, and someone should have said something. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. But now people, once they've seen the movie, are responding, and there it is. I feel like a lot of times these movies get it wrong, too. It's like an ongoing thing.
Which is crazy because there's a lot of people involved before it actually hits the big screen.
All right, now Wendy Williams and Gary Owen were spotted at dinner. I don't know if it was a date or what, but they were at the reopening of Scotto's in New York City. And insiders are saying that the two of them were having a good time. He had a very flirtatious appearance on the Wendy Williams show, and that's why some of this reaction has been like, okay, what's going on with the two of them? Here is Wendy Williams.
Would you like to have dinner? Because here's what I'm thinking, right? We go to Fresco by Scotto, you're gonna melt. No, he's not saying yes.
I'm not saying, listen, what I'm not gonna do, I'm not saying yes, no on the air. That's how more rumors get started.
Yeah, but I can clear this up. I got the purple chair every day.
Oh, that's right.
So it's like, yeah, you saw me ask him out. We went to Scotto. We had a good time. Then he took his Uber back to his hotel, and I took, my car back to my apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
Separate.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
yeah.
fine.
That's awkward. Now, she also did an interview with Interview Magazine. Don Lemon interviewed her, and she opened up about life after her divorce. He asked about if her being so open about her private life affects her on-air persona, and she said, definitely, when we were married, I was very happy, but I had to make sure that when he and I divorced, my life wouldn't suffer, because if my life suffered, then that meant my son's life would suffer too. I loved Kevin, and he loved me, but I was probably too much for him. I guess he found somebody who was just regular and who would cater to his every need. I tried, but hell, I got to get up in the morning. The idea that the show wasn't called The Wendy Hunter Show was a big source of problems. If somebody called him Mr. Williams, all of a sudden a sunny day would turn into a storm cloud. I'm disappointed in him, but I quickly got over that because anger causes wrinkles. Now, she also talks about her issues with past addictions, and she said the reason why Kevin had her in a sober house was because the girl he had an affair with was about to have a baby, and he needed to put me someplace where I couldn't watch TV. He took away my phone. He took away my cash. He took away everything. So that is Wendy Williams in Interview Magazine. All right, now get ready for some concerts. Are y'all ready to be back out and about at festivals, at concerts? Well, there's going to be a 3-day show, and Kendrick Lamar is going to do a one-off show leading the Day in Vegas festival lineup. It's a 3-day hip-hop festival that's going to be in Vegas November 12th to the 14th with Travis Scott, Tyler, the Creator, and Kendrick Lamar as nightly headliners. They're going to be names like Lil Baby, DaBaby, Doja Cat, and SZA also